Hey guys, Andrew here. This is my workshop today. We're doing the honey extraction from the bees we keep. So I'm going to show you around quickly, show you what we got, how we're set up, and then throughout the day I'll show you what's going on, I'll tell you what's going on, and hopefully this video will give you a good insight as to how we honey extract from our bees. So let me show you around quickly. Alright, first things first, here we get the camera on my arm, there we go. 2 supers, so 2 we pulled off. You can see obviously they're full of frames, which are full of honey. I've covered every surface I'm going to work on with newspaper, green Niaga. Here we have our centrifuge, or as I call it, the spinner. This works quite simply, you'll see this in a minute. But that spins, loads 16 frames. Tap then pours off through the sieve into this bucket, which I then pour into these buckets. Let me just show you inside one of these. Full to the brim with honey. Both of these buckets are. There's 2 buckets there. So I've got some more buckets over there, which I need to put taps in and fill. So, show you this one after a bit quickly.
So through here we have the other supers which we need to extract. We've got 11 supers here, all of which need extracting. So here we have supers which I've already started to open up so I can extract them. What I've done, I have to put them into pairs. As you can see here, I've got 2 pairs already made up. I have to pair them by equal weight. So that was what the weigh-on scales are for. I have to pair these up in equal weights. I also have to make sure that the pairs are of the same style of frame. So notice I'm touching the other sides of that one. It's square. That is the heavier of the 2 styles of frames. I'm just pulling out the other style now. You can see it's pulled in at the sides. You can actually tell this from looking at the top because the edge is pointed, as you can see there. I'm indicating with my finger. So I have to make sure I use the correct style of frame so that the start weight and finish weight after they have been spun is the same. The reason being, we load them into the spinner opposing each other. You'll see that in a second. When I turn around, there we go. So we load them into the spinner opposing each other. So they have to be equal weights. That way we get a nice even spin and it doesn't wobble or rock too much. Before they go into the spinner, there is one last job I have to do. If you look at this, you can see there's some slight mottling on it, discoloration. Down in the bottom corner, where I'm pointing to there, is open honeycomb. The rest of it is capped with wax. What the bees do, when they have filled a cell with honey and reduced it to less than 17% water, they put a wax cap on it. So using this multi-pronged fork, I scrape the wax off, then I can put it into the spinner. This allows the honey to be flung from the frame freely. So, all of these are heavy and most of them are waxed. This one here is an example of one that isn't waxed. As I said, they only cap them when they are full, when the cell is full. So here we have the spinner loaded. I'm just going to show you inside quickly. Right, so there we have a multitude of frames, 16 frames in the spinner. This spinner has 2 settings, so I've just set it onto the slow setting. It slowly builds up its speed over a small amount of time. And very quickly you can see, if you look down the side of the extractor, honey will be flung against the wall of the extractor and then it will slide down into the bottom of the spinner and form a puddle in the bottom. So I'm going to put the camera down now. I'm going to pop the lid on. We pop the lid on just sort of stops things getting into it more than anything else. Honey doesn't come out the top. So I'll put the top on and then I'll just tend to leave it for 5, maybe 10 minutes. If I get a good balance, I don't need to touch it again. And it'll just spin nicely until all the honey is extracted. This one didn't extract so perfectly, so there was a small bang and then a clunk and then it started rocking very violently, so I turned it off. I'm now having a look through Now, we had a small problem. This doesn't happen very rarely. This is the only time it's happened on this extraction. But take a look at this frame here. You notice quite a substantial hole in it. What has happened is the bees have made a sugar residue which is denser than the honey and heavier, and it couldn't spin out. It couldn't be pulled out of the honeycomb, so it ripped the honeycomb away with it because of all the pressure. It ripped the honeycomb. So now we can see all that delicious golden honey being poured off through the tap. The tap, obviously, I can use to regulate the speed the honey is poured out. I only do this once the spinning has stopped. As you can see, we've got a sieve over a bucket. The reason we have the sieve is because bits of wax, and in this circumstance, due to the breakage, bits of honeycomb can get caught or can be in the well of the centrifuge. So we use the sieve to separate these. So all the honey that's in the bottom box, you can see, is good, pure, perfectly delicious, very sweet honey from our all-organic bees. Here's another one of the jobs which we have to do whilst we are extracting. That substance you can see there on the base or the side of the super is called propolis. It's a substance made by the bees used to plug holes and secure things together. So they use it and they secure the frames inside the super. We have to remove it, clean the wood so it preserves it a bit, helps it stay in good condition a bit longer, and so it's easier for us to put the frames back and just sort of tidies everything up. Once it's all tidied up, we'll put the supers back on the bees, and they'll spend 48 hours, they'll eat all the honey, fix all the honeycomb and clear everything up perfectly, and probably repropolize. So I'm going to take my hive tool and very quickly scrape off some propolis, the propolis from the frame. Okay, so here we can see why we need the sieve. Unfortunately, my camera's struggling to focus. But you can see the sieve is full of debris and rubbish, which we don't particularly want in the honey. And underneath that, you have that lovely pot of golden, delicious honey.